Ooh. If I hear a little feedback, I'm gonna try to fix that just real quick. As everything drops. I'm so sorry. We're gonna go ahead and then the music down just a little bit. Wait, what just happened to my music? Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah, it is a little late, so things seem to be falling apart, as is the want. And then we have sad music, which doesn't work. All right. Trying to figure out what is going on here. We have to. Sorry about all the weird little issues here. I don't. Hmm. There you go. There's the piano. I think. Yeah. Okay. There it is. All right. Well, we are good. I just want to make sure you have the music because we are in fact going to be doing a lot of writing, which is going to be really cool because I want to go ahead and just start off really quickly and mention that this is a new feature. They just added the category writing and reading to Twitch for the first time. People have been asking for this for 4 years, right? So it's really exciting. We are currently working with a new category on Twitch. Isn't that insane, right? Took 4 years for them to make a category for writers and readers, mind you. So, right there, as a result, we now have an opportunity to take this category, this new category, and use it for good. And of course, as soon as I found out that there was a new category associated with writing, what did I decide to do but go out of my way and see if we could use this as a way to help promote all the cool stuff that I like to do. So real quick, I'll do a quick shout out. I had a few viewers jump in the chat while we were prepping and running the ad reel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have to get to bed at any point, feel free to do so. But if you're checking out our work tonight, real quick, we're just going to go over what we're doing tonight. And tonight we are working on writing for the universe of Heroscape. So for those that may not be familiar, Heroscape is a miniatures war game. It's a tabletop miniatures war game that was created in 2004. Okay. And I got this game when I was a kid. I played the heck out of it as a kid, and I got really obsessed with the storyline. The game existed 6 years, from 2004 to 2010, and it was discontinued in 2010. Well, now recently, Renegade Game Studios has went ahead and picked up the brand, and so now they're trying to work on bringing back Heroscape from that time frame into the new era. They want to create this war game again, and they went ahead and asked me if I could help them create the lore for this universe. So when I go ahead and tell you that I had no clue that this was going to be something that I would be doing as a job, I had no plans. I've been wanting, like, the thing is, it's crazy. It was always a joke. It was always a joke. Everyone always said, "Yeah, you're going to be the new lore guy, right? You're going to be the new lore person." And I never I never really believed them. But yeah, we are here right now. I signed my contract. I'm working with the official story of Heroscape. But with that capacity, right, just want to put out there that I have been working with the Heroscape storyline for a very long time. As you can see here, if you are not familiar with the website World Anvil, we're going to go ahead and do a quick jump and review. World Anvil has, in fact, been a website that I've worked with for a very long time. And what it is essentially is a website that's designed to help you, the writer, gather your thoughts. It's a world building page, right? You pay them a certain fee every month, right? And I mean, you can always join free too, right? But I usually like to pay. I'm a big person about taking ads off. You know, that's just a me thing. But you can use World Anvil to document your world. Essentially, that is what it's designed for. It's meant to give you access to a sprawling database. And the thing is, while I was working on my own stuff, right, this just so happened to be something I decided to work on my own time. I was just doing this for fun, everybody. And then I suddenly got picked up for the actual job. So why not use what I already have? And that was the decision I decided. I went and was like, hey, if I'm going to go out of my way and, have all this information that was written when I was younger or was written when I was trying to focus on like Wikipedia stuff, why don't I use that for the job that I just got picked up? Right. And so I have all this documentation from years ago in the past when I was trying to make a storyline for myself, storyline for my fan fiction. Okay. And not only that, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick shout out in the chat, right? Extra Life again is going out of the door super strong, pushing for 2024, right? And not only that, we've also have decided to commit the donations we received from Tabletop Weekend 2024 in April towards the $10,000 goal that has been set by AetherCon, and that's who I have tagged in my chat, right? So I'm currently trying to help EtherCon get $10,000 for charity. We're raising the money for local children's hospitals, so I joined their team and donated what we earned in April towards the goal. Now, additionally, if you help donate to the cause, you are able to earn some pretty cool incentives, right? Not only from the EtherCon team and EtherCon artists and everyone that donated, but there's also a small little incentive I added myself. If you donate through my page, if you help me contribute to the goal and helping them launch and reach their goal, right, I will, in fact, take your Final Fantasy 14 concept of whatever sort, and I mentioned this before, it does not have to be a character of yours. It can be an NPC. It can be a favorite character. It can be one of my characters. It just, if it's a Final Fantasy concept, that's what's important. We're going to get a Final Fantasy 14 concept, and I'm going to show you how to write it into the Heroscape universe. Now, the way you get that, of course, is donate $6. If you donate $6 right now to the EtherCon goal in trying to knock out and get 10K before this event ends, you will be helping. So right now, they earned what? They're at $2,000, $2,700 right now. Right, so they've already passed about a quarter of the goal, but we still got a bit of way to go. So we're putting it out there right now. If you are able to contribute anything at all, $1, even if it's just $1, please feel free to check out the donation features there. And again, if it's just $6, I'm only asking for $6. If you donate $6 to the cause, I will get a Heroscape character themed after Final Fantasy into the game for you. And that's going to be part of a ongoing project I'm working on, which is a charity donated fan fiction story engaging certain original characters that I designed growing up throughout the franchise, right? And I'm going to be using those characters as a way to explore narrative concepts in the Heroscape universe while I work on the official stuff. So this is essentially my exercise. I mentioned that I have been writing for the Heroscape universe for a very long time. And all of the projects and all the work I did in the past was fan fiction. But that's the thing. It was fan work, right? It's something that I did for fun. It was something I did as a hobby. But now I'm doing it professionally. And I don't want that work to end up going into the ghost lands, right? I don't want that work to just vanish. So, as a result, I'm committing that effort now to the public. I'm giving you everything that I've worked on in the Heroscape universe in the past. Now, I want to put it out there, make sure everyone understands that even though I'm contracted for Heroscape and I'm contracted by Renegade Game Studios, I am not the canon guy. I cannot determine that. There's a lore council for that. I'm part of a lore council. There's more than one. There's me and 5 other people. And when the 6 of us decide on things, that's what makes it canon. And we've been talking, we're working on stuff, right? Like, there's nothing to worry about in terms of that, but that's all that NDA stuff. Can't really talk about that. What I can talk about, of course, is if you have any questions about the Heroscape franchise in what has already been launched for the AOA, the Age of Annihilation line, which came out in August, right? So that's Wave 1, right? All the Wave 2 pre-order stuff, we can talk about that. We've already seen the pictures and the figures, and we already kind of know the names and stuff, and then of Wave 3, right? The Rising Tide, which is the new story arc, which will be entering into 2025. So everyone that's getting involved within Heroscape, if that's something that you want to learn about, you're going to be entering into what is known as a story arc. It's a new system that they're trying to implement that isn't like waves. It's not the waves that we're used to, where it's like 4 waves, boom, story next, 4 waves, boom, story next. A story arc, right, is going to be several waves in a specific, burst launch release, right? So everything that comes out next will be part of the Rising Tide story arc. Once that completes, it'll be another story arc, and then so the narrative is going to be a big part of what we present in the Heroscape franchise moving forward. What you know about the classic lore may or may not determine what you understand about the lore coming out in the future. It is actually really, really good and highly encouraged for you to read the old lore if you haven't had a chance to. And if you don't have an access to that, this is what I'm here for. This is why I want to do these streams, right? I'm going to dedicate time to document the old lore for you on stream so that way you have a source material to reference when it comes to getting this information for yourself, right? I want to make sure that you have a good source for the lore moving forward, and I want to make sure that if you have any questions, you can have the answers here, right? I just really enjoy overall the franchise, and I don't want people going around and be like, where do I get all this information? Well, the thing is, I'm going to be straightforward with you. The easiest way to get this is like Internet Archive, right? It's a Wikipedia, but you have to do some digging for that. We're working on the Wikipedia too, by the way. But TLDR, the Heroscape narrative is not super accessible in the sense that it's like, oh, you can just read this and you're good to go. So I want to make sure that you have a place that you can stop by and catch up on the classic information, so that way when you get into the game, you are not lost. Because that's just something I want to do for the fans, and as a thank you to everyone that wants to support me as a Heroscape contractor. And yeah, Alex, I'm live right now because I drank too much coffee. I definitely drank too much coffee. I'm a little hyper. I'm trying to burn it off with some writing. We're gonna get some writing done, or at least that's the goal, right? What is? I didn't mean to close. There's that. There's that. I'm trying to keep but yeah, I'm basically just trying to burn my sleep off, or burn my energy off that I have that I gathered from the con, and get some rest, because I am pretty tired. I'm not gonna lie about that. The con was awesome. I had such a good time at the convention, and I'm really glad we actually had a viewer stop by earlier that had attended, and they said they caught my panel today and it was good stuff. I was like, thank you. So yeah, huge shout out to that. Thank you so much. Again, we're doing that for charity too, right? That all that work that I do for the panels are free because I donate that to charity. I donate that to Extra Life. I donate that to the cause. And so if you want to help support, if you really, really, really enjoyed it, right, consider donating to Extra Life. So that way you can earn some of the sweet rewards that they're offering on their end. And then if you're able to do the 6, then of course, I can get you a character written up for the Heroscape universe. And it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, the story already has a handful of characters that are based on previous donors, right? Which is that's the plan, right? Every the major story beat in this fan fiction I'm creating is based on donors. They're characters that were built off of donors, and just a huge appreciation goes into it's like, thank you for donating to children's hospitals. Here's a character I made for you. That's the goal. I used to do that in the past, back in 2020, and I really haven't had a chance to do a lot of charity work because of real life stuff, right? I mean, it's hard to be a charity streamer when you also have to be a hey, I'm also trying to use this money to survive. You know, I'm also trying to use this to pay bills. It's really hard to split that up sometimes, and when you start at one, you forget about the other, and it's frustrating. It's a big moral beatdown. But when I see other companies or other groups or other really cool Final Fantasy organizations like AetherCon are trying to participate in this awesome group, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's help out. So every once in a while, I can put down me trying to get rent so I can help get some charity for children's hospitals. So if you're able to donate, we're going to be working on that for a little bit. I do have some other things lined up that will probably help me out with money. So I figured I could take a break just for the occasion. But October, we're definitely going to have to work on getting better with our bill check. Because oh my gosh, I'm so terrified of rent. But that's neither here nor there. Let's finish up strong today, right? Again, I am trying to knock myself out silly with some sleep. So that means, in order to do that, that means I have to start working. So, but we're kind of just doing some last checks, make sure all of our stuff is going good. And again, like I said in the panel before, I will say it here: if you have any questions whatsoever about lore, about anything at all, I am more than willing to answer those questions. Right? I want to be a source of information, and someone that you can trust. So please do not hesitate. And other than that, enjoy the vibes. If you want to ride along, honestly, feel free to do so. I've heard that sometimes my voice can be used for a source of they focus. They said, it's a good voice to focus to. So if that's something you want to do, if you want to get some last minute work done, now's a good opportunity to do it too. Work along with me. They call it body doubling as well, is another thing that is scientifically proven. You actually get more work done working alongside another person than you would working by yourself. It's really easy to get distracted when you work by yourself. But when you work with another person, there's that, it's just a sense of accountability is what they call it. It's the same thing with writing. Writing and reading the sense of accountability for writing and reading is huge. Because if you're showing what you're writing and reading, and this is honestly, here's a fun fact for everyone that's in chat that may not know this. My first stream ever that I started making content for, right? That first stream was a world building stream. I started on Twitch by world building, but we didn't have a writing category, right? Our category was an indie game that was called Writers that we used and we lurked on, and that's how we supported each other during the 2020 era. That's not the case anymore. We're not using this indie game to support each other anymore. We actually have a writing tab. So I want to try to make writing streams a big part of what we do now, especially moving forward with my Heroscape job. So let's go ahead and zoom on through. We got some continue working. So I want to show off some of these. I don't actually know the state of this website. I don't know if this is accessible to no, it says public. So this page you can access. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with some of my old work, right? So this I posted in 2023. I make sure to date my stuff because it's so hard to really you already know I'm super bad at keeping with tasks, right? I am distracted 24/7. I don't have a good sense of time, right? So here we are, right? I write things and then I poof and I come back and it's like, 30 months later, did you forget about this one thing you planned? I'm like, yeah, I did. But guess what? We're coming back. We're coming back because having an opportunity to work with Heroscape, I'm grabbing a lot of the stuff I forgot and didn't do in the past, and just locking it up. Elcars? Are you saying I'm a liar? Are you saying liar or Elcar? What's an Elcar? Anyways, so I just love your enthusiasm for the Lord. Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Oh, that's weird. So I'm going to read this article. This is kind of opening my experience with the Heroscape universe and its storyline. Again, disclaimer: this is all headcanon fan fiction, otherwise known as me just taking notes and writing to have a good time with what was left on the old websites. Don't take any of this as hard truth. Oh, it's an acronym. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that. To kind of point out why I have that font and colors for the site, of course, because we're working with Heroscape being an interdimensional story, I grabbed it. I grabbed it when I was able to. I think you can select different themes on. So again, another shout out to World Anvil's tools. You can actually do a theme, and they have these are the voyages. It's a Star Trek theme. This isn't like obviously this is what I'm not locking to this for the Heroscape website that I'm working on. This is just a fun little place to dump all my fun little notes. Okay, like this isn't anything I want to publish. This is just I wrote all this stuff because I had ideas in my head and I didn't know where else to put it, and now it's relevant, right? Because it helps kind of like unpack the narrative in a way while explaining what some of the headcanons and some of the thoughts that go into things, right? And so I am calling this universe Galathane, right? And it says, in Heroscape, one immediately becomes attuned to the references made to Norse mythology. Seeing the names of Valhalla and Valkyrian is the quickest way to notice the concepts. Most name connections can be drawn quickly to sources, but some words are neologisms, a sort of constructed element to maintain the look and feel of its Norse bases, but have no direct correlation, right? It's really important to note that about Heroscape's story, right? It's Norse-based. It's loosely Norse-based. Craig Van Ness loved Norse stories, and he loved the aesthetic behind it, but it wasn't meant to be a one-on-one. And that's one of the cool aspects about Heroscape, is because you're supposed to get like a vibe. Like you're supposed to get the Norse vibe from it, but it's never meant to be one-on-one. Right? It was never meant to be like, oh, this is, in fact, the Norse story of legend, right? The Norse legends in Heroscape are supposed to be like altered, watered down, mistaken versions of the true story that's going on with the Great War, according to the Heroscape universe. So we don't get all the details, right? And then it says, in my years of working with the Heroscape narrative, I've been known to be encouraged to dive deep into the fundamentals. So when in discerning my desire to write a style guide with direct references to all the lore developed over the years, I wanted to name it something about this established aesthetic. Norse, but loosely based, as Craig called it on the forums. A bit of searching into where the word Valhalla comes from pulls up the existence of the Grimnismal, the literature that is our source for a large portion of names for the realms of the Norse deities and entities of their mythos. In there, Valhalla is described as residing in a place called Glathsheimer, the th being an original form of the th sound, which is sort of an exclusivity of modern English. Fun language. We're kind of getting back to our previous panel where we talked about languages, right? The th sound is unique to English. I debated heavily last year in ScapeCon 3, October to July, if I should use the original word and encourage the reminder of our neat little English feature. I didn't want to clash it with the former name and aesthetic of the classic game, so as the inspiration permitted me, during September, I researched renderings of the name, right? I found out a rendering of the Norse Alfheim exists in writing as Elfheim, and I had my own Heroscape neologism. So Gla, which is the original location of Valhalla, the th, which is the current sound of that letter, Heim, which is an additional version of Heim that exists, and it's easier to pronounce for players. And as it stands, Glathame refers to the setting one can build from the Heroscape narrative and labels that self-contained universe. I write from the perspective of what that game provided, what things could have been hinted at, and what we could see in its future. And I wrote that last year. So now I actually get to use Glathame. I actually get to use the style guide because now I'm writing for the game itself. But you can kind of see my thought process that goes into designing Heroscape. I want to keep Craig's very specific idea of Norse, but loosely, because I don't want it. Like I love the Norse references. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want it to be like, I don't want the one for one. You like Glathame? And again, this isn't canon. Glathame is my style guide. It's the name of the style guide based on Norse lore, based on how they use Norse lore in Heroscape. So, and yeah, so thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. I believe that means this article preview. I don't know why it says it's on to continue working, because this is technically done. I have it marked as done. So I'm gonna tag that as an introduction, and then publish. So I know later that it's done, and I don't come back to this. One of my biggest, I love World Anvil, but I'm so bad at Savaris is an elf. Oh lord. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, we have some parts of the website that's not developed at all. We have some parts of the website that's kind of cool. We have some parts of the website that's garbage. So style guides are super important. And Carmine had a Heroscape Bible. He did. And he won't tell me where it is. It makes me very sad. So we got Thorman's Journal. It's a collection of point-of-view documentation of the events surrounding the discovery of the well springs, written by the eponymous Thorman. So yeah, I'm documenting all that stuff. I just never got to finish it until now. I mean, now I have reason, right? So Ular is the Arch-Kiri of the region known as Ekstrom on Valhalla's mainland continent, is the third of Valkyrie named in Thorman's Journal. His vision introduced the world of Phelan to Valhalla, initially by a summon of the archer Savaris during the rise of the Valkyrie. That's why. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's go ahead. We can actually do that. Let's edit Ular's article. Oop. Where'd you go? Now Solomon's Journal. Yeah. See. So once again, avoiding too many spoilers. Spoilers, not spoilers. What's the word? NDA stuff. I'm not gonna be talking about new stuff, but. Like Team Money is mentioning in chat, we have a new narrator, and that narrator is associated with Ular. So because of that, I'm actually, because Team Money mentioned it in chat, we're going to go ahead and edit Ular's page, so that way you can get lore about this character that's actually playing a very important part into the current storyline. So, I'm not breaking my NDA so much. You're a stinker. I do think it's funny, and I appreciate the passion. Trust me, I'm so excited when we finally get to the point where I can start sharing things. You absolutely know we're going to be doing it on stream. You absolutely know that I will not be holding back whatever permission I get. You know, you'll hear it first here. Trying to see. Okay, so he only got his Kiri first. Okay, and we haven't got. We're waiting on Solon. October 11th. Yeah, let's go. All right, so we went on this website, the reggae website, because we have character bios for Ular's army. So these characters follow this person, right? And we learned, not from this one, but from the other Kiri's bio. It's the Mielke's bio. We learned that Ular has been poisoned. Okay? So, as you can see, right, and I think, let me see, do I have, I don't know if I have a history where you can see the history. I'll have to look for it and show you. But as you can see, I didn't have that lore. I didn't know about the poison. Poison is new. Poison came out. The poison lore dropped. Mielke's poison lore dropped when her pre-order dropped. So we didn't know that they were poisoned until June. And we didn't actually learn what that poison was about until... where is it? I gotta get... You know, I should just, like, open multiple Heroscape tabs. So I'm not, like, I keep going to the same thing. I already have the downloads too, but then I just like I'm too lazy to get it, so I just downloaded it again. So I have like multiple copies of this here, which is hilarious. But yes, that poison we learn is a plan from the pirates here, right? There's a group of pirates that are currently attacking all the Valkyrie, poison your springs. You play as one. You can play as a group of pirates, and then you fight a group of wizards that are allied to Aquila, who is one of the Kiri. Not Ular, but one of the other Kiri, right? And so what we understand from this, right, getting this in June, and then getting this in August, we learn that these characters are no longer people that can be relied on because of the poison. Right? So I think it's really important information moving forward for Heroscape's lore. The Valkyrie can no longer be trusted because the poison is messing with their minds. So we're going to go ahead and add that now. All right. I'm going to see. We're going to definitely have to put some headings because this is new information. It said 10 years. Frid. What the? There we go. 10 years. Okay, because we're doing timeline based. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you got you, T-Bunny. You see what I'm doing. You see what I'm doing. No, so that's the thing. I can talk about current stuff. If it's out, we're documenting it. I got you. We can go over all of it. If it's not out yet, I can't say anything. So we're going over the poison now. I can finally put the poison into we're codifying this until I pass out. That is because I do have to work tomorrow. We'll always trust in Einar. That's fair, and we actually, and I'll say this because based on the bios that we have, we do not currently know the state of Einar. We don't know if Einar has drank from the poison or not. So far, the only person that we know is poisoned is Ular, because it says it right here. We know Aquila avoided the poison. We don't know about anyone else yet. So it's really important to track. Yeah, you gotta stay on your toes here with the Heroscape lore. Because it's updating. We're actually writing this. It's a living story that's being told right now that I'm partially in charge of, and I'm telling you right now, keep track of who's poisoned, who's not, who we've reported, and who's not. It's alive. No, it's a fun game we're having. It's a really cool experience where we get to write the story as we go. So, yeah, keep track of who's still poisoned, who's not. And I'm obviously not going to tell you. If it hasn't been publicly revealed yet, you won't know from me. But publicly, we know Ular is the only one who's succumbed, thanks to the Mielke bio. LOL. Yep. You got to solve the mystery just like everyone else that plays the game. Just like how I would be solving the mystery if I wasn't actually working on it. You see? You know? Yeah, it's just... I am a fan too. I'm a gamer too. I know how it is. I had to do this back in the day. You know? Sit and wait. Hope for the best. But yeah, let me go ahead. I pulled this in because I wanted to grab an important quote from the SK2. The Skutu. $10 years ago. Okay. I'm gonna name it. It says 10 years ago. 10 years since the declaration. There you go. And then I can... What has succumbed? Oh, this is crazy, though. Imagine updating this years after the fact. Mine isn't, like, I mean, I started this site when Heroscape got announced again. I think. I'll have to see when the site got started, but this just feels so weird to me. Oh, that gives me... I just got chills just writing that out. Poison. Okay, so and that means we're going to have to... And here's a fun feature of World Anvil. You can't really see it on the page that I have open because I kind of have the tab. Oh, what did I just do? It broke it. That's what I did. Let me see if I can move it just a little bit so you can see a little bit more. You're not letting me. Okay. Cool. So you see that bottom tab, bottom right tab, where I'm this plus article and then a little anvil symbol. So World Anvil has a really cool feature that if you suddenly need an article, for example, you love that the wiki and heroscapers.com are getting updated. Oh yeah, Dandelions has been working nonstop to get that wiki cleaned up from all the previous errors. I can now say that the wiki is a good source of information, and this is why, and everyone's like, well, why are you working on this site if you have the wiki? Well, this site is my personal style guide, right? This is just me having fun with the franchise. This isn't like I don't want you thinking like the thing is I want the wiki to be a clear, objective review of, hey, this is what it's worth. You know, this is the lore, this is the canon, this is the powers, these are the stats. Done. No opinions, no edits, just the straightforward information as it's been presented. And Dandelions has that, right? Dandelions has been updating the wiki, and they've been very straightforward with everything. They've been cutting things down to like sentences only, and it's been so impressive the amount of editing that they've done, right? So Dandelions' editing has done such a good job for the wiki. The wiki is an objective site meant to be just a font of information. Yes, like Money said. This website that I'm working on is my personal style guide. This is just me having fun with the Heroscape lore. This is me showing you what you can do with Heroscape for yourself. All right, you want to get into the story of the game? Here you go. This is me getting into the story of the game. This is the stuff that we're learning about. And again, it's just really good practice and exercise for me. While I'm working on the official stuff behind the scenes, I do need to work on my writing. I need to practice, right? So this helps me get a little bit better and get a little bit more in touch with the information that comes from the current sets. Because remember, I'm picking up and running. I didn't get I just got told this is what the story is, and then I gotta grab it, get it absorbed into my brain, and then push it forward. Like, all right, next. You know, like I have to know what this is about. So being able to write it out to you and share it with you, the audience, is a good way for me to kind of like, you know, foment it and lock it into my brain, so that way these story beats don't get lost when I'm writing about them later on in the actual franchise. So I'm using this as like, this is my exercise. And then again, it helps you. If you need help getting things done, if you need help getting some writing done, please feel free to use the stream as a body doubling method to get some work done. I've always been a huge, like, I believe a lot in body doubling. Every time I get stuck and I can't really focus on something, I put on music or I listen to someone talk. And before I know it, most of my stuff gets done. And it's really nice. So I do know, and I've been told that I can help people do that too. So I do really encourage people to use the stream as a working stream while we get this lore taken care of. Also, that was the scariest shit I just saw in my life. Oh, Lord. That's scary. I don't even know if I can find it again. I just I refreshed Twitter, and someone took a picture of the hurricane that's currently on top of Florida. That is scary. That is So scary, man. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, I'm so serious. It's just a fucking hurricane. It's just a hurricane on top of Florida, straight up, massive cloud. Let me see if I'm gonna have to find it. That was scary. Yep, I found it. How is this actually real? I'm gonna show you real fast. I know it's a distraction, but this is my I get one. I get one. How? How is that even possible? That's Tallahassee. What? No, I'm actually alarmed at this. This scares me to see. Yeah, we're used to seeing those on other planets in the solar system, but on Earth, it still feels wild. That's a state. There are people under that right now. You can see the lights of their buildings. Yeah, and it's like raining nonstop where I live. So, yeah, sorry about that distraction, but make sure you stay dry. I hope everyone's staying dry. I hope everyone's doing their absolute best to uh, stay dry and out of the rain. If you make sure you're driving safe, I'm hoping everyone stays safe. Putting as much energy out there to make sure everyone stays out of the way of that massive storm, because that is scary. Going to FK for a bit. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you stopping by for Team Money. I'll be going a little bit longer. I'm not entirely sure how long. Again, hopefully until I fall asleep is the goal. If not, I am putting my soft cut at 2 a.m. So that way I can actually start going to bed at a decent time, start winding down even more, and then I can go ahead and get some rest before work, and then maybe stream some more. We'll see. After I get up, I promise. But off of that tangent, go ahead and go back to what we were talking about. They're around Minecraft, feeling productive. We love Minecraft productivity. Such a good feeling. So I was showing you the side tab here on World Anvil is a really cool thing. It's a plus article and a little anvil here, right? You hit an anvil button. It helps you search anything that you've written in the website. This database is so profound. I mean, every little word that you've ever put into this, boom, you can find it. And I promise you, even if it's just like a sentence you left out in a little half-written essay you forgot about that you uploaded maybe 10 months ago, this database will search it up and pull it out for you and be like, hey, did you remember this? It's so good. The second option here, of course, with the anvil that helps you search, right? Because you get this to search so you don't double create stuff. But if you do already not have the article, and we don't have an article on the poison because the poison is new lore, you can go to plus article, and from here, immediately create a new article to work with on your website. And then it will load it up to the database and then add it to your to-do list so you can grab it later and finish it up when you're done. This is meant to catch up and fill out large amounts of information at a very quick rate so you're not stuck. You're like, oh, I forgot I need to write this. Oh, I forgot I need to write this. Well, yeah, we know you need to write all of this, but stick on one thing, pin it later. Write the thing, pin it later. Write the thing, pin it later. This little plus article is meant to help get you into things so that way you can move past some of the stuff that will hold you up when you're writing, and then get that into later articles that you work on when you're ready to address that subject that you got stuck on in your writing. It is the coolest way to stop with roadblocks. Every single time I got stuck in the World Anvil page, it's like, all right, page, write it later, page, write it later, page, write it later. Before I know it, I have 30 pages, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's almost a book. Just go back, finish the page, go back, finish the page. Oh, wow, I actually finished a book. This website encourages you to actually do major, massive projects because it finally gives you the space to do so. With that being said, let's go ahead and add the poison. It is a new item. Article title. Pirate poison. We don't have a name for it yet. So it's going to be named by the people who have it and what it is. Category poison. Is that a thing? Oh, we don't have that yet. Medicine. All right, and then you shift enter, and then there's a vignette, right, which is like 3 to 5 sentences. Again, these small little articles are not meant to hold you up. You're not meant to get stuck. It's meant to help you put this thought that you need to work on for later in a separate article so you can continue with your current article, right? So 3 to 5 sentences. The pirate poison is a mysterious substance that a group of mercenaries are using to harm the Valkyrie generals okay, yeah. I'm telling myself 3 to 5 sentences, yeah. And then I got Grammarly, which helps me kind of trim it down a bit, so. This poison is unknown. And let me double check. Because again, there is information about this game I know that you shouldn't know. I just got to make sure that it's been shared first, and then we'll talk. Yeah, okay. You don't know that part yet, so we will stick. This poison is known. That's such an important distinction. Yeah, no, I have to. One thing I'm learning about this job is I have to make sure that what I'm writing is stuff you don't know. No, wait. What I'm writing is stuff that you can get in the game. I want to make sure that you can like pull this up through actual research and not, hey, that didn't come up, and then like shit, because I'm just gonna be straightforward. I know a lot about Heroscape right now, so I have to be very careful and watch myself and make sure I'm reviewing the current lore so that I'm not telling you things that you shouldn't know yet. They also don't tend to do lore full of Q&As. And yeah, and that's a big part of it too, but Koji Fox's social presence is a big part of why I do what I do. I take a lot from him. And I feel like if Koji was able to do it, I could do it, right? Koji was really good at the no comment stuff. I even taught Moose about it. Moose was telling me just do the Koji thing. So thanks to Koji, that's why I'm a little bit more social and public about my work and being very, very cautious about what I work on. But yeah, Koji's really good at pushing people away from asking questions they shouldn't and all the stuff he knows, right? So I figured I could chew it. Alright, use this substance. Shonen manga authors usually pick really nothing burger questions. Yeah, that too. I think they know they can get away with certain things because they know that the people that interview them don't ask good questions. Because Moose did come in and kind of throw them for a loop, and they did a lot of that. Hey, you know what? That's funny. We never actually answered that question ever. So they're like, well, thanks for asking that question, and they would write it down on the napkin and then bring it to the office, and lo and behold, there's a little side quest based on a question. So that's why there's a weird little debate about lore in the Final Fantasy XIV community. I'm going on a tangent again, but to say that the lore, they're saying that the lore that is presented in interviews and panels and things like that isn't valid lore. And I don't like that thought, because a lot of the issue with an MMO being a living world and how they have to constantly update it, it makes it really hard for them to codify certain things, especially canon, especially story bits. The interviews are sometimes the only way they can update things that they have to leave behind because of the sake of it being an MMO. So I don't like this current experience in the 14 community that a lot of people are saying that interviews are not lore. I don't believe that. I think interviews are lore. If the devs have to go out of their way to explain something, then it's important to the story. And not mention, it always eventually does end up in game at some point. It just takes some time until they can get back to the point where they can enter it. Right? So, yeah. That's my thing with interviews. So I'm like, you know, this is my stuff. It's a placeholder. That's a good example. Like, I like Alex's, a placeholder lore until it's answered in game. But it's like, that's the best they can do right now, because they can't go back to that region. You know, we're not going to be able to go to Corvos, but they can answer our Corvosi questions while we wait. You see what I mean? Like, it's not meant to restrict us so much as them focusing on the current topic. Like, for example, they'd probably be able to answer better questions about, for instance, Thulio Lal, instead of you asking about the northern reaches of Shaktaral. Do you see what I mean? Things that they were able to focus on more, have more information than what they were not able to focus on based on MSQ or whatever current direction their story is going. And then usually if you end up hitting anything on the nail, they'll get the no comment. So, but being in interviews like that is a good way to become an associate of the writing team, like Moose eventually did become. Yeah, Gamerscape gave Moose a huge opportunity, and he took it, and he did such a good job with it. And yeah, he's on the lore book twice. He's on lore book 2 and lore book 3. That's a dream. So he did what I did. He worked on the thing he loved, and he became a part of what he loved. So, again, never give up on your dreams. To start a sabotage, distrust, eventually causes the peace summit at the shattered table to fail. There you go. That's our blurb. Storyteller seeds, pirates, poison, current, the pirates are using the poison to stop the Valkyrie through poisoning the well springs. The source of their power. Okay. And then shift enter that. There you go. Article created. And welcome back, Team Money. You think Lore Book 1 was kickstarted by the spreadsheet stuff, or at least is referenced a lot for that product? Oh, absolutely. Now, I do have to say, unfortunately, that the first lore book had a lot of errors in it because the process was very new. But eventually, lore book 2 is the better of that, because they streamlined the process so much, and they were able to get it to where it was like no edits needed at all. They only messed up once, and that's the whole joke with It creators, his little shot where he's getting punched. There's a photo of him getting fake punched by Koji on Twitter. I'll actually show you that, because I think it's relevant to our interests right now. It's one of my favorite FanFest photos ever. It's one of his favorite FanFest photos. We have a mutual FanFest favorite. It's such a funny. I love being a part of this community because you only use those encyclopedias to answer specific queries, so you've not really noticed the mistakes. You've not read like a book like back to back. Oh, I picked up on a lot. I was actually asked to help with the edits in the first one. Yeah, no, this the Fan Fest that we're talking about is the Final Fan Fest or Final Fantasy Festival, right? This is 2018. The guy you see up there, his name is Anonymous, otherwise known as Anwil. You can find him on Twitch. I'll actually give him a quick shout out because this guy is one of my. Don't tell him. Don't tell him because he gets really embarrassed, right? This guy is one of my major inspirations. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd be doing what I do today. I don't think I would be working on the lore of Heroscape if I didn't know who Anonymous was. Because his passion for Final Fantasy lore, his dedication to this nuances. I mean, this man was documenting forums of like several thousand words of length just to be able to tell people what era the fourth calamity happened on. Yeah. And so Alex is explaining that this guy, you know, through all the work he did, he actually got submitted. He got considered to be a Q&A person for the lore book for Final Fantasy XIV. They set him up with a contract. Got him on the thing. He had 2 weeks to edit the book, and he complained about all the errors from the first book, right? Was able to edit the second one, and he missed one error. And so the joke is because he missed one error, he was going to get punished. So the world lore creator and lead localizer at the time, Koji Fox, is shown fake punching Anonymous, the community lore guy, because he made an error in the lore book. And I was here in the audience when this happened, and it was one of the funniest things to see on the stage. But it was also just a huge example of, again, what happens with a passion. If you love something a lot and you take care of it, it'll take care of you. I think is really important here to note. And again, Moose, if it wasn't for Moose, I don't think I'd be here. Moose inspired me. His passion for 14 lore is what inspired me to push for my passion for lore. And then here we are with Heroscape lore. Now I'm working on it. Right? So now that we wrote up an article for Poison, I can go ahead and link that article to the Poison page here. Of course, you don't have to just name it Pirate Poison. I put Pirate Poison because we don't have a name for it yet, but you can. You know, it's like a normal wiki, right? You can line it up with something and then change the name of that link, so you don't have to sit there and call it Pirate Poison. It can just be Poison, but it links to the Pirate Poison page. Showing passion can definitely get you there. The Old Republic devs added an idea based on my suggestion from a forum thread into the game. See, look at that. That's awesome. I love to hear that. Let's see. I'm trying to grab the link, though. I wonder if can I just change it? Yeah, I think I can just change it now. Yeah, they updated it. So you can update the name. But it's still, because it links to that page, it'll link straight to that Pirate Poison page. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and draft it. All right. Always save your work, of course. Can I view it? I think. Oh. It's loading right now. Okay. And then, so yeah, and I know it's not a lot, but just to show you, now that I created the Pirate Poison page, and I linked it to this, I didn't have to write pirate poison here. I could just call it poison, and it links directly to this page. The pirate poison is a mysterious substance that group mercenaries uses to harm their lucky generals. Isn't that crazy? I love World Anvil. It's such a good website, and is one of my favorite things to use for my personal projects, which I've always done, and I've always done it for my own world building. So I'm a real quick dive into some of the projects that I've done on this page or on this website before we get back into more Heroscape stuff. Right. Of course, Glathame is not the only project I have. You can make multiple worlds if you are a subscriber. You can make multiple worlds. If you are a free user, you can make 2. I think it is. But I have Glathame for Heroscape. I got Yurem, which is my own stuff. My own stuff. Final Fantasy 14 lore. My own stuff. Right? I have actual universes I created as a kid that have nothing to do with 14 or Heroscape, but are based on that. And I use this website as a way to document it. And then from these original universes that I created, I built a RP verse essentially for 14 and an RP verse for Heroscape. And now I'm actually working for Heroscape. So I want to use the work that I practice with. Seems like a cool site. That's tempting. I mean, I'm always going to have to upsell. I really do enjoy World Anvil. When I found it in 2019 when I was beleaguered by the stress of having too many ideas and not enough paper for it. You know what I mean? This website, this lady right here, her name is Janet. She's a very sweet woman. She's very awesome, and you can meet her. She loves to talk to people on Twitch. She explained to her husband that she wants to create a book. She has awesome ideas, too many ideas, nowhere to put it. She was struggling with the fact that in her world building process, there was just so much to do. She did not know where it could go. And her husband wanted to help. So he went out of his way to create this website. And so what you have right here is the culmination of his hard coding effort to give her a place to put all her thousands and thousands of ideas. And now she's a huge industry lead person going around talking to people about how to develop their own games, how to develop their own writing, right? They have this, like she's created this magnificent process in helping people let's just go crazy. Just write whatever they want, because one of the hardest things about being an author, and especially a world builder, is how much is in your brain. And now I'm sitting here with a universe that contains exactly 12 separate planets. And I have to remember all of these timelines. It's going to be fun. I'm excited, right? I'm going to do the job, but it's like this website's going to help a lot with that information. The minutiae of my job is going to be fantastically handled by especially this hammer. This hammer is going to help so much. But like, oh yeah, what did the dragons do? Oh yeah, what did the dwarves do? Oh yeah, wave 10, wave 9, wave 7. That's what I want to do. Have my style guide ready so when I'm struggling to document some lore or I'm working on some bios, it's hammer time, like Alex is saying, and I have reference material. So this is going to be pretty good for Heroscape lore moving forward, so that way there's something to use, right? But let's go back to what we were working on. I think we got about 40 more minutes till my soft cap where I'm going to end stream, so that way I can actually get to bed before work. If I don't get to bed at a certain time, I won't ever get to bed. And then if I never get to bed, then I am the worst worker ever, and then I can't make money. All right, so Kiri the Forest Tribes united under Ular's banner when the war began. So that's we got some lore, we got some Ular stuff. So I think we're gonna put some older stuff. Before, what did it say? What was the words exact? Make sure I get that right. When, okay, so I guess you could say start of the Great War is the tab I'm going to use. I'm going to try to keep some of these headings pretty standardized, especially when it comes to lore developments, right? I don't want people getting lost in terminologies. And Heroscape doesn't have a lot of terminologies to begin with, so it's not too bad. You don't have to worry about like, oh, do I need to know this time, right? Yeah, mainly it's like the battle of all time. That's the conflict, the name of the conflict. But they also do call it the Great War. And so I personally like the kind of like dance between the two meanings. You know, Great War as like a more poetic way of saying, you know, battle of all time, which is like the title, the actual conflict, the name that you would hear if, you know, the cops had to explain it to you, right? The cops are explaining the battle of all time, but the Great War is like, it's like poetic. It has this like, there's an overuse to it, but like people like, what's so great about it? Well, yeah, it's great because it's literally everything, every planet in existence. So start of the Great War. We'll have Akiri. Oh, so we got in Ekstrom. And it's the Forest Kiri. So now we haven't. The thing is, what's really cool about this, right, is that the Forest Kiri have never really been expounded upon. Let's see. I imagine let's see the tribes. The tribes. That united. So I noticed. I don't know if it's my. I'm gonna have to poke around. I think my system's slowing down. A little lag in my typing right now. I noticed. Just going to back out some programs, see if that helps a little. Something's making this thing run hot. Close you. Okay. The band. Is band unite? I think I this is my word hangups. Okay. United together. Once the rise started, the names of these tribes are not known, but members of have been introduced. There you go. Over time, in various positions of leadership and rulers. Yeah, I'm kind of throwing words out there now. Okay. I don't want to get too distracted, but don't think so. We'll look hammer time. I don't think we have an article on Athalaga yet. No. So now that means we got to make Athalaga, Kiri Warrior. And I think it's character. or unit. I don't know. We'll do character since we are. This is more of a story-based site. If we say unit, it's gonna sound more it's like the army game, which yeah, it is an army game, but we're talking about the lore. So Atlaga, Kyria warrior, is a trusted. Okay, that's right. Army and a member. So Atlaga is actually really funny because he's been in the lore more than any of the Kiri. Like there's like an extensive reference to him in multiple places. And then he was just like one of the last characters to come out. So I was like, oh wow, hi, it's you, the person. Was entrusted with a magical artifact called the Bolts of the Witherwood. Laga. And he was in a D&D scenario. Yep, I'm writing that right now. Gifted the bolts of the Witherwood. Like many of the 9 times now have cards of ages. Oh, Magic the Gathering has that problem too. Yeah. Yeah, so this is just like a short summary. So we'll be revisiting a lot of this info later to the party of adventurers summoned from the world of Toril. So I'll go ahead and say this. I document the Dungeons and Dragons stuff in this story because they wrote it as if it was part of the world, and it was always meant to be part of the world. But then they never got a chance to actually make it part of the world. So a lot of people like to say that it's a sub theme. And let's see, one of the leaders. Heavy narrative presence. And 2 story beats. So this is a storyteller seed for anyone that wants to use an Atlaga reference. Atlaga was in 2 major story beats, right? He was in the Thorman's Journal and he was in the D&D scenario. So important character, I think. And there you go. Atlaga is complete. And then you go down here. Now, we don't, since we're talking mainly about, this is Ular's page. I'm not going to mention who these people are. I'm just going to put a list of who they are. So that way there's kind of cross references. Okay, the website's loading. Oh, something's wrong. There it is. I think I think I'm having a tab issue because it's the slow loading is killing me. All right, so leaders. And then I'll fix the font later. There you go. So you see how I went ahead and added it here on this tab. I didn't have to do too much. I didn't write too much for Atlaga. Because yeah, Atlaga is super important. I got a lot of stuff to write about him. But I don't want to focus on him right now. I want to focus on Ular. So I added the article for Atlaga for later. And now I can just add it here for reference. And then when I'm ready, I go to my to-do list because when you add an article with this button, it adds it automatically to your to-do list. So when you're done with this page, if you're satisfied with this page, you go to your to-do list and grab those articles that you created while you were making this, and then just keep on going. And literally, it's just this ongoing process, and before you know it, you've literally written a book. It's insane. That's how they get you. It's forced productivity because you're just constantly hitting that plus button, and that plus button makes the to-do list for what you do later. And then you're just done. Then it's done. Then you're like, oh, I finished it, guys. It's insane what happens when you just, the necromancy, it's insane. It really is. There's some weird brain juice that goes into hiding tasks and picking them up later. And then eventually getting to the point where you're just done. You're just like, wait, it's over. I finished it. Because you just kept going. Yeah, I really think it's cool that that's a possibility. You know, that they've created a website that is designed, it's paced, it's like a step-by-step process, paced to get you, you know, if you just follow the base level of it, you don't even have to do anything else. All you have to do is hit plus, write your thing, post. Hit plus, write your thing, post. Go to your to-do list. Finish one more. Do it. Done. Right? Vignette content. Mielke is a leader. I know I'm not writing good stuff, right? We're just getting it done and pushing it through, getting it finished, right? Mielke, the Kyrie warrior. And a new contender for the forest tribes. Of the poisoning of Ular. And I'll put that much for now. Because, yeah, I still got to learn about Mielke. New character. So I want to make sure when people are writing about it, they know Mielke rose to leadership recently, whereas Atlaga has been a leader this entire time. That's an important dynamic for writing for their stories later on, because these leaders are working with each other, right? They have to figure out, now that their leader Ular is poisoned, his mind is not in the right place. He's putting out terrible, murmurings. He doesn't trust anyone anymore, right? Because that's the thing. The poison is making him not trust people, right? And so, like they said they have no time. There's no time to let the factions fracture once more. So, whatever issue they had in Ekstrom in the past, right? They're trying to keep that together. They're trying to prevent, like when Ular banded everyone together. It says they banded together when the war began, and now they're going to end up falling. And they can't afford that right now. So they're trying to figure out anything that they can attack to keep the Ularian forces focused on a target so they don't fall into faction disarray and back into their broken forest tribes. So that's so there's a big window into Ular's state, the national state of Ekstrom is currently as it stands. Ular cannot govern appropriately. The forest tribes are about to return to their warlike state, or that whatever that was, right? That state where they weren't working together. They're about to fall back to it. So now they have to find anything at all to keep focused as an army. So they're going crazy into fighting, and anything that they can do to keep them focused, that's what they're going to do. And that is something you got to look in and keep in mind. We're following this faction, this army, the Ular army, following the Ular army into the future. You got to remember that, this particular part. They are, the most important thing to remember is that they are absolutely, what's the word? harried, pushed, pressured. The army of Ular is not in a good place. The panic that is being induced by the poison is causing them to make hasty decisions. They are deciding to fight without any answers. Not good. And again, you have this leader at Lago who's been around for a while, and then you got Miyoki who's new. So it's gonna be an interesting dynamic moving forward. It's like who does everyone trust? The new character that recently got appointed by Ular prior to the poison, or do you trust the person that's been there this whole time, who has proven multiple times that trustworthy in a sense? Though people could bring into question, why'd you give them why'd you give a bunch of strangers the Bolt of the Witherwood, one of the most powerful artifacts? You know, they could question that. They could question that Laga's trust the cause. They'd be like, why did you give that away? You know, why did you give the Bolt of the Witherwood away to complete strangers when you had no idea that they could have used that against us? They could have turned the Bolt of the Witherwood against the Ulari and Kairi, and it would have been all his fault because he just decided to hand it to them. You know, that's the kind of stuff that this poison is going to be bringing into play. It's going to be like making everybody question each other. It's like, what did you do for the Great War? What did you do for the Great War? I don't know. What did you do? And everyone is fighting each other because they can't figure out the cause. They can't figure out what all these the who's truly at fault here. And so the fight is not going well in the Ularian camp. That's one group. Isn't that crazy? So yeah. Heroscape's awesome. That's one group I'm writing for. Can't see. Oh, it's not letting me do this. So sometimes the code does act up. As you can see, it's like freezing stuff. Glad you're enjoying yourself, dude. I love I love Heroscape lore so much. Being able to codify it in a way that helps people learn about the game. And then these streams are basically my notebooks for the future. You know, all this is the kind of stuff you can get from playing the game on your own. And then there's more on the way. So it's like, that's crazy. Oh, also check this out. There's a focus mode, by the way. When you enable focus mode, nothing else works. You literally have to sit here and just type it out until you're done. Pretty cool concept. You know, it locks in. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't mention there's eye colors, pronouns, species, hair, height, weight, ethnicity, gender, family, religious belief, affiliations, current location, current vehicle, conditions, current residence, alignment, related articles, birthday, year of death, place of birth, circumstances of birth, circumstances of death. Hi, everybody. I'm Crazy. This is my website where I fill out literally everything. Yay! World Anvil is a great website, but it is designed to literally document everything. And so now that I have this work that I'm doing, hello. Obviously not going to be able to document everything because not everything has ever been written, but it's fun. It's a style guide. It's something to think about while we're working on bios and stuff, all the official stuff. So I will say that the official stuff that I'm working on, the lore that I'm working on for those, will be inspired and kind of just like whatever I build out of the soil of this work here on stream, I want to help have it inspire my work that I will be submitting to Renegade. So you get to kind of see how that process. I want you to kind of see how I do my thing. You know, and again, it's not spoilers. It's content that is won't get me in trouble. I have a lot of practice with NDAs, so I know exactly what I'm not supposed to say, and genuinely just avoiding talking about what has not already come out. But I feel like we've been doing a pretty good job so far and learning about one major group that a lot of people may have not had a chance to learn about. So let me see. We're trying to character portrait. I have a theory. I've had a theory. So it's hard to tell because of its location in the Thorns journal. Encoding overloaded. Why? The stream is becoming difficult because it's like slow. I can't press anything. Uh-oh. I think my laptop is crashing. I can't see OBS. Oh. Yeah, my computer's having a hard time right now. Everything's shutting down. Water chugging. Yeah. That's coffee, by the way. I should stop drinking. I actually am getting a little tired. You know, it'd be a good time to stop, actually. Get ready for rest. Yeah, let's do that. I think we got some. We had a really good introductory writing stream. Sorry, Kayla, I know that you just arrived, but it is almost 2 a.m. and my computer's acting up. It's stuttering a lot, so it's probably time to give it. It's been on all day. I gotta let it sleep a little. So it may actually just be that time. So let's go ahead and get someone to raid. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed that first writing stream, the first official writing and reading stream of the Eslam Collate. You know, my usual content. The thing that I've been doing since I first started streaming, but now I have a category for. Yeah, my computer's dying, y'all. I can't even load in the stream. We're gonna raid in the Chrono. It's a buddy stream. It's so bad right now. It's laggy shit. I don't even know if you can see me. I really hate technology so much. All right, well, I'm gonna start the raid and just kind of meet you all there because the lag is so bad. I don't even know if you can hear me. So I'll meet you all there and then explain what happens. Where is it? All right. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure streaming to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Hey, Buddy is one of my good friends in the Streamiverse, part of the Warriors Light, or used to be part of the Warriors Light team. I met them in the Warriors Light team. Say hi to them for me, and I'll catch you all there. I'll explain what happened there, because I can't keep up with what's going on. I'll see you in a bit.